he even looked at me and it looked like he'd seen a ghost, because my eye there was just blood gushing from my eye. I had the inside of my eye basically come out into my hand. He sort of looked at me and he just went pale as a ghost. My name's Reece Simpson. My main trade is plastering. As soon as I left school, I went straight into college carpentry. The day that the accident actually happened, we was laying chipboard flooring. It was coming up to 2:45. And by that time we had finished laying all our chipboard flooring down. And we put a loft hatch down to cover a hole. As we put the loft hatch down, the fella that I was working with, he was fairly new with us, he decided to actually put the loft hatch down with a nail gun, which he shouldn't have really been doing. It should have been with screws. So as he put the loft hatch down and started firing the nail gun into what you'd call a gate hinge, so he was trying to fire the nails through the holes, and I see one ricochet off in between his legs. At that point, I've sort of stood back and thought, right, that's a bit dodgy. As I've stood up, he's fired another one, and I just felt an impact straight into my eye. He sort of looked at me, realised that there was something terribly wrong, like something really wrong. And we sort of both stood up at the same time, and he looked at me and he started cuddling me. Like, he knew sort of what had happened. I didn't at the time. I was just in shock. I felt the impact. So I've come off the scaffolding, down the ladders, and I walked up towards my boss at the time. He was like, "What's the matter?" And I pulled my hand away from the eye, and he said, "Oh my God." At that point, that's when the ambulance got called. The big part that hit me the most was when I spoke to my mum. So I rang my mum, and I was panicking. I said, "Mum, like, I've been shot in the eye, you need to come down to the hospital." And she then started whimpering, started basically crying. And at that point, I sort of took a breath in, calmed down a little bit. I said, "Mum, listen, I'm fine." I said, "But you need to come down to Hillingdon Hospital. I've had a bad accident." But they put me straight on morphine, and I had one operation, which then after that they shipped me straight off to Western Eye Hospital up in London, which is a main eye hospital. They sort of said they'd never seen nothing like it before. My whole retina in my eye collapsed. Basically, when the inside of my eye had come out, the whole inside of my eye had come out, they basically re-injected it with like a silicone-based gel. I actually started to be able to see silhouettes again. So I went off, kept coming back for my checkups, and they just sort of said, like, "How's things going?" I said, "Well, I can see silhouettes." I said, "But it's starting to fade again." And then they offered me the same operation I had first. They offered it to me again, but they said that if I do have this operation, they are pretty adamant that it's not going to change, and there was basically not a lot that they're going to be able to do for my sight. It took me 6 months, surprisingly. I was going to counselling sessions. 18 years of having vision in both eyes, going down to having vision in one eye. It hit me hard, like really hard. And at first I was sort of bedbound, and I wouldn't get out of bed. Like, my mates were coming around seeing me, and I just didn't want to do nothing. So it affected me really bad. I was shy about like talking to people, and I wouldn't want to look people in the eyes when I was talking to them. It changed my younger years. I luckily found a really good pal now. He approached me and said, "What are you doing for work?" And I said to him, I'm not doing nothing. I said, "I'll try getting work." I said, "No building sites really want to take me," because I was trying to get work on a building site. No sites would take me, so he turned around, he said, "Look," he said, "come and do a couple of weeks with me." And this was plastering. So when I first done my eye, I come out of Carillion College doing carpentry. After my accident, when my good pal approached me, I then went into a plastering trade, which is what he was doing. But at first it was hard. I'm not as confident as I feel I should have been now. But the thing that got me out of it was my good pals. I was bedbound, like I say, for around 6 months, and one day they sort of come and said, listen, there's a little do going on, why don't you come to it? And I just thought to myself, like, oh, I really don't want to. And my best pal rang me, he said, listen, you need to come, mate, you really need to come. And I thought to myself, right, I'm gonna get up, get ready, sort myself out, see if I can do it. And I did. I got up, sorted myself out, and went to this little do. We had a good time. Everyone was asking me questions about my eye, which in a way it made me feel a bit better, you know, because I was sort of talking about it and getting it off my chest. People also then knew the situation, which they didn't before, because I just isolated myself. So it was just my get up and go. That one little do that we went to, it got me up, got me back on my feet. Everything from there was it just flowed. But like I say, still to this day, I'm self-conscious about my eye. And I probably always will be. I got compensated for my eye, I did. Nothing that is worth losing sight of my eyes. There was a little bit of a tiff when it first happened. So they sort of tried making it easier for themselves, you know, instead of the full story on what actually happened, they tried altering it a bit. Because I told the full truth, we sort of had a little falling out. Yeah, I mean, I can't say they were behind me the whole 100%, but like I said, I got compensated for it. He got fired for 2 weeks, and because my good pal was still on the site a long time after I left, he said that he'd come back to work. It's a deep feeling, that, because what he done to me, I sometimes think how he feels. You know, it's like, how does he feel knowing that he's done that to me? He come and visited me in hospital 3 or 4 times. But yes, it's a deep feeling. It's just one that you just gotta let go. He apologised, he knew what he'd done wrong. But the fact that he actually got let back onto the site, it's a bit frustrating. It would have been easier for me to deal with if it was myself. Purely because I wouldn't, not that I've got someone to blame, because I don't want to blame him, but I've got no one else to sort of say I'd done this. But then on the other hand, if it was me and I was using a nail gun, I probably would have been wearing glasses. So my message to people on the site, on the tools, have fun, but be safe, wear your PPE, whether it's necessary or not, all the time.